Bad answers. It'll kill you. A heavy sigh left the mouth of Ponyville's only resident human. Anonymous, or Anon for short, was walking home from a long day's work, working at Filthy Rich's superstore. What a day that had been. Taking crap from customers and not being a dick right back? He shuddered at the mere aspect of it. Now, one lady in particular had the gall to ask him what he was doing here. When he replied with working at a horse version of Walmart, she snubbed her nose at him and told him animals aren't allowed to work here. He was just about to start wringing her neck when a rough clearing throat caught him by surprise. Hands still stretched, he looked to see the stallion himself, Filthy Rich, giving him a death glare. With a reluctant smile, he drew back his hands and smiled at the customer. "Ha ha! Funny joke," he said with a forced smile and an even more forced politeness. Hours later, here he still walks, his destination in sight. The Castle of Friendship. Or Frou-Frou Fairies, whichever one worked best. With its crystalline structure and deep blue hue, it was definitely something to behold. Just before Anon opened the door, however, his ears picked up a sound that sounded like something large, and rushing towards the door. He backed away from the door, and not a split second later, the door slammed open, and out ran Flash Sentry and one of the Dusk Guard. He couldn't remember her name, but from the look of fury on Twilight's face, he had a feeling that he wouldn't be needing to know it anytime soon.
"And stay out!"
she screeched before dragging Anon inside the castle and slamming the door, followed by a series of clicks and thunks. Flash and the guard looked at each other in shame before the guard offered him a place to stay. It had been 2 minutes of Twilight's crying in Anon's lap to remember why he didn't like babies. In reality, she had been crying for 2 hours, and throughout her little tantrum, she kept asking questions like,
"Was I not good enough? Did I spend enough time with him?"
You know, those kinds of questions. Anon pet Twilight's mane, and slowly but surely, the Twilight he knew came back into being. She looked up, eyes red and puffy, and her nose slightly running.
"Do you think I should just end it?"
This was a question that plagued Anon's mind for some 3 years since he's been here. "Honestly, Twi, you really want to end it all?" A nod. "Okay. My advice to you is go for something cheap, like maybe drinking bleach or finding something with arsenic," he said, as a matter of fact. Twilight's brow creased, and before she could have a word in, he continued. "Or, go with the classics. Sharing a noose, plastic bag over your head. Oh, you can slit your wrists open with razor blades. Just remember, though," he took his arm out to demonstrate, "sideways for attention, long ways for results." Still, Twilight stared dumbfounded, and despite her look of incredulousness, he continued still. "Then, there's the more common classics, like falling off a roof, drowning in the bathtub, toaster in the bathtub." He listed more and more ways to kill yourself, from purposefully swallowing your own tongue to putting something called a gun to your head. Finally, Twilight shook her head and asked the ultimate question.
"What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Anon stopped his triad at the outburst, firstly dumbfounded that Twilight used the word fuck instead of pony placeholder trademark, and secondly, at the initial question itself. Twilight continued.
Anonymous, when I said end it, I didn't mean my life."
Anon's eyes widened a little.
"I meant end my relationship with Flash Sentry, who I just caught two-timing with one of my own guards, Skystar."
Oh, fuck! Anon yelled, now realizing his massive fuck-up. He backpedaled and backpedaled hard. Oh, shit! Oh, fuck, I'm so sorry, Twilight. Fuck me. Yeah, okay, yeah, normally when you catch your boyfriend with another girl, you dump his ass, but why did... Oh, damn it. Twilight looked at Anon, seeing how remorseful he was being.
"Anon, are you okay?"
Anon became uncharacteristically silent and sighed heavily. No, I'm not okay. Maybe 3 years ago when I first landed in this place, but now it's too much, he said, finally laying down on the couch. It sucks. I'm the only one of my kind. I can't have children. I can't follow my comedian dream because everything I say is too insensitive. I can't even work at a store with someone asking why the animal got out of the zoo. He covered up his eyes with one hand. It's so fucking hard! I mean, yeah, humans are dicks, but we're dicks to everything, so it all balances out. You ponies only seem to be dicks whenever you're confronted with something not a pony. Or from Equestria, for that matter. Anon said while gesturing towards the window. I've seen ponies give me glares. Seen them give that zebra Zakora a sidelong stare. Hell, you had that fucking racist guy Naysay or whatever the fuck his name was at your school. Twilight winced at that one. I think the last straw was when your friend Rainbow Dash essentially rubbed in my face that I can never go home and that I won't amount to nothing here in your world. To say Twilight was shocked to hear that Rainbow Dash did that was an understatement. But to hear the whole town was doing it?
Anon, I had no idea that was happening.
Yeah. I thought you'd say that. You don't really read people, do you, Twilight? His question was met with a confused tilt of the head. Like now, whenever you get confused about something, you tilt your head to the side and your mouth purses up, or when Fluttershy is tending to her animals, her wings are relaxed and her primaries are splayed out a little. Applejack has a nervous tick when she notices something is off. Her scratches at the dirt. Pinky is probably the most disturbed individual yet. She hides so much pain behind her eyes that, unless you are a professional shrink or someone just like her, he points to himself at that statement, you'd never see it. Rarity is hard to pin down because you can tell she's hurt too, but she turns her pain into art. Essentially, the more she hurts, the better the dress becomes.
What about Rainbow?
She's afraid of the world, just like me. She can handle ostracization, so she seeks to be the center of everything. From a fan club to the top of the leaderboard. Twilight mulled over this.
How does this translate into all the things you've said before?
Anon chuckled and looked out the window. Because before the whole thing with Flash, I was gonna say goodbye. Twilight didn't understand. Say goodbye?
Hey, Anon. If you need to talk to someone, then you can...
No. It's much appreciated, but no. I've made up my mind. I want to go home. On my own terms. Just as he said this, a purple blur knocked into him.
No! I will not let you do that! That's stupid talk!
She said, hugging his chest. Anon patted her head and she looked up at his eyes. I'm sorry, Twilight, but your friend said it best. This world doesn't have a need for a freak like you. He shoved Twilight roughly onto the couch and ran up some stairs into one of the many bathrooms. Swiftly, he turned to see her just behind him and he slammed and locked the door closed.
Anon, please, don't do this! So many others need you!
Like who, Twi? Fluttershy is scared stiff of me, the only other pony that tolerates me is Pinky, and that's on her good days, and all your other friends avoid me as if I have the plague. You can fuck off from my life, I don't need it anymore. Twilight began to say something, but he wasn't listening. Not anymore. He opened the medicine cabinet, and saw a little pill bottle inside of it. Take no more than 2 a day. Bottoms up, he muttered to himself. He got naked and drew a bath. If I'm going out, I'm going out cozy, he said as he leaned his head back and waited for the dark to take him. Anon awoke in a hospital bed next to a heart monitor. He said nothing, but looked away from the monitor to see a sleeping purple princess on his bedside. The door on the other side of the room opened to reveal a nurse scribbling away at a clipboard and looking up in surprise.
Oh, when did you wake up, dearie?
Just now, Anon moaned out. His tongue felt heavy and his lips didn't want to make words, but he pushed on.
Oh, good. You gave us quite the scare, you know. What were you thinking, eating that many in one go? Why, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you...
She stopped her sentence short, looking at Anon's face drop, and turned back towards the still sleeping princess.
Oh, dear. Well, if it makes you feel any better, she stayed by your side all week.
A week?
Mm-hmm. Never left your side for a second. Her friends had to get her food and everything. I've never seen that blue one more scared in her life, though. And she's a regular.
Anon took this information and looked up at the ceiling. God, I'm a fucking idiot, he whispered to himself. And Twilight stirred in her sleep and mumbled something out.
No, you're not,
she said between snores. Anon looked at her again and chuckled a little as the rest of her friends came in. Perhaps this world would need him just a little longer. Now, don't get me wrong, some people who can tolerate dark humor, it could be funny, but either way, if you are having suicidal thoughts or just thoughts about harming yourself, please call somebody for help. Anyways, I'd like to give a very special thank you to my generous donators: Yoshi Super Saiyan 2, Peter Coulthard, Dash of Evergreen, Dresdon, Dospo, RuneScythe 9852, CourierCruz CI, Rainbow Dash 1990, Dwight Cornel, Gagi, Secret Moon, ORIAN KAIJU, Starlight Glimmer, David D. Sanchez, Trey, Pokekiller Zach, Soul Dragon, Dak Britton, Joe Pierce E, and Reno. Thank you all very much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one.